Natalia Carter, and today I'll be discussing the topic of how governmental bodies should not regulate reproductive health care. Governmental regulation of reproductive health care is a concept that revolves around the idea of women not having the right to choose. It is something that dates back to the early 19th century and it continues to expand today how women cannot make certain medical decisions without their husband's approval. And the idea of an 8-year-old girl being forced to give birth to her abuser's child because she could not access abortion in a state where it is banned is something that terrifies me. And it should upset you too, because this is something that goes back to how, even though this is something that is on the topic of women, it also affects so many more people. And I'm a young woman in the United States. I understand what it's like. I understand what it's like for doctors to not listen to you, for you having to ask permission for things that you shouldn't have to ask permission for, or a man doesn't have to ask permission for. And there's something that continues to grow and expand with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And the implications of governmental regulation of reproductive health care are more disastrous than it may seem. The right to privacy and the consequences of banning of certain reproductive health care will cause more harm than good. Abortion, birth control, and the right to privacy are important social topics that many people have misconceptions about because they base it on the idea of religion, or they refuse to look at it with a holistic viewpoint of what's all going on. And you cannot bring religion into lawmaking in a country built on the freedom of religion. And this is something that I deeply believe in. No matter what your religion is, it shouldn't be read into a law, especially not in the United States of America. And the access to safe abortion is at risk for many women, and this may cause heightened cases of maternal mortality and unnecessary death for many women in America. Banning abortions should not ban abortions, but just save medical procedures because people will still have abortions. Having access to abortion is vital for many women in America. Abortions are used in other scenarios than accidents, and removing this route will cause more harm than good. And as Grace Sager said, confusion about what is and is not permitted under an abortion ban can also affect treatment of ectopic pregnancies, which occur when a fertilized egg implants outside the uterus. These pregnancies are never viable, and delays in treatment can result in death. This also occurs with partial miscarriages when a woman has a miscarriage and the baby does not fully expel itself from the body. And with partial miscarriages, this causes sepsis. And this means a woman will die from the infection when it could easily be prevented from just having access to abortion and being able to take out that baby. And with ectopic pregnancies, the baby will continue to grow, but it will get so big inside the little fallopian tube that it will explode, and a woman will bleed out and die. And removing the ability to treat ectopic pregnancies and partial miscarriages will cause so much more maternal mortality when the United States has the highest case of it in all developing nations. And this is something that will cause so many more women to die, but the overturning of Roe v. Wade also causes the criminalization of stillbirths and miscarriages, which are two things that women cannot control when it happens. Criminalizing abortion hurts more women and families than many people realize, because odds of it, you know a woman who's had a miscarriage, and it's a very sad topic. But criminalizing this when women have been put in jail recently for it is something that's so terrifying because it's uncontrollable. And many innocent women sit behind bars in jail for having a miscarriage because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And this is a quote from Denny and Fielding. To wit, even after Roe was decided in 1973, people have been subjected to arrest and prosecution for miscarriage, stillbirth, or attempting to end their own pregnancy. The American Bar Association opposes such criminal charges, yet nevertheless, upwards of 1,200 women have been arrested for pregnancy outcomes post-Roe. Post-Roe was 6 months ago, and 1,200 women have been arrested for something that they cannot control. And this is something that deeply upsets me because it shows how the United States government does not care. They don't care. They don't care about the baby. They care about the control over women. And the arrest of 1,200 women post-Roe for stillbirth, miscarriage, and self-inflicted abortion is something that is terrifying. Women cannot control if they lose a child, but the tyrannical thoughts of lawmakers are punishing women for things that are traumatic and out of their control. Women are being criminalized after going through traumatic experiences and facing grief. The criminalization of miscarriages and abortion reflect the early 20th century policies of controlling women. This is something that is systematic and will continue to expand as the abortion ban affects more people. And this leads into the right to privacy. The right to privacy is vital for all Americans because this is what determines This is the thing that determines if nurses can talk about your medical procedures or if your doctor can spread your medical procedures with your loved ones, your friends, with a random Joe on the street. And this was built on Roe v. Wade, and it showcases the right to privacy. Women consistently experience not being treated the same as a man, and it can be seen with the current legal climate. The government has no place in an obstetrics and gynecology office. Controlling women's health care is unconstitutional and displays how the government is still trying to systematically control women, because the right to privacy is something that expands with abortion. And this is a quote from Aaron Sagan, and this is leading on to how women are treated as property and they are not respected in the current legal climate. Every time our baby bumps are caressed without consent, every time our decision to terminate a pregnancy is challenged legally or philosophically, the message is essentially that your body is not your own. And the idea of your body is not your own can be seen, as I mentioned before, being forced to have your husband's permission to be sterilized after giving birth. And it shows how many doctors value a man's consent over a woman's. And this is something that so many people fail to realize, and so many people don't realize that happened. My own mother could not have her tubes tied when she had me because she had to have her husband's permission. And this is something that is it affects so many women. And the legality of abortion is something that lawmakers do not have a place in society. Government regulation of a woman's body is a topic that is extremely controversial, but it does not mean lawmakers have a right to decide this. Women face so many things after this ban. Women and medical professionals are the only people who have the place to talk about reproductive health care. I say the only people who have knowledge on this subject. Okay, and that has been my speech. Thank you. Have a nice night. Have a great day.